everybody. It's Dr. Hillary here. How you doing? We are talking spring allergies. It is March 20th, and I realized yesterday I saw a couple patients with a lot of histamine issues here in California, and it made me realize, wow, we should be really having this conversation in February. But what happens with allergy season, especially in California, and I know this year in the East Coast. This year on the East Coast, there was a very quiet, mild winter. So allergy season's coming sooner. So if you're watching this and you're in the East Coast, just know that you might be having things earlier than you expected because of the weather. What happens in California is we get viral season and it shoulders right up on allergy season. So it's sort of like we're preventing flus, colds, COVID, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're in allergy time. So it's always a good thing to remember. I want to talk about a few of the alternate systems in your body that also support allergy. On Monday, we talked a little bit about some acute remedies that you can use, some of the vitamin C's and things to stabilize the mast cells. So what's happening when you have a big histamine response? Histamine is the mediator in allergies, the neurotransmitter that causes a lot of allergy. Histamine can act in many systems of the body. The classic allergy is like itchy eyes, watery nose, runny nose, itchy face, sometimes a flare and eczema. And as histamines rise, there can be more symptoms. But what I want to talk about, and Kara and I are going to dive much more deeply into this in our 5-day 5-day program that starts next week. So that's on Monday. So if you're watching this live, check your emails and sign up for that if you're interested in allergies, coming up with some more treatments for you. But what happens is histamine can act on brain, causing brain fog, anxiety, depression, sometimes obsessive thoughts, muscles, bone, causing soreness, weakness, GI, tons of GI effects like nausea, gas, bloating, issues with constipation, on the bladder spasticity and irritability. So it may not be that you show up with these symptoms, but you may have a combination of brain fog, feeling a little fluish, feeling tired, feeling run down, this spastic bladder where you're like, wait, am I getting a UTI? But you don't have burning or pain. These things can all be histamine related. So many people clearly benefit from using an antihistamine daily if their symptoms are bad. And I'm not against it, especially if you're having symptoms. Sometimes some of the natural therapies take a little while to work. So while you're waiting for those things to help, the homeopathics I talked about last Monday can offer some immediate support. But a lot of times you want to be working on your allergy protocol a little bit earlier. And allergy season can extend for up to 2 months for people. And it really depends on obviously the blooming season of where you live, what's happening in your internal environment. So if there's molds or mildews that your body's kind of primed and already triggered for. So this again is like a total load issue. Like how many things does your body have to deal with? And if your body has to deal with a lot of different things and you easily make histamine, Dr. Karen and I do genetic testing, and a lot of the people that we test have genetic issues with the breakdown of histamine. So if you're one of those people, genetically, you're more prone to having allergy symptoms over your lifetime, eczema, allergies, asthma, digestive complaints. So, a lot of this depends on, again, your stress level, what you've been exposed to at home, probably the viral loads that you had in the winter season, and then the bloom season where you are, and obviously your internal environment. So we always want, if you're an allergic person, if you have a lot of allergy symptoms, to be running not only air filters in your home, which are really important for allergy patients, but also a dehumidifier if you're somewhere where mold or moisture or humidity is an issue. A lot of times dropping the humidity just calms things down. A lot of people move to the desert. I grew up in Las Vegas, and A lot of people move to Las Vegas to avoid a big blooming season or to have less allergies if they're from the East Coast, or molds, mildews are really hard on their system. You move to Vegas, then all of a sudden you're like outside a lot and there's not a lot to bloom. There's like tumbleweed and cactus and some trees and grasses, but like minimal compared to where I am, the Bay Area, or where in Connecticut, where Cara is, which is a huge bloom cycle. Okay. So the underlying systems that are impacted or have a lot to do with are our adrenal systems and our stress responses. So if you're under a lot of stress, your symptoms, your allergy symptoms can be worse, and that can be changeable from year to year. If you're under a big stress, if you are going through a divorce, if you're under financial stress, if you've lost somebody that's really special to you, if you've just moved, some of these big major life stressors, or you're just day-to-day living is more stressful than you have time to catch up with, you're going to notice that your seasonal allergies are worse than in a year where you feel more resourced. Perimenopause and menopause is a big deal, or if you're doing even fertility treatments, because the hormone balancing has a lot to do with your stress responses and how resourced you feel. So what we want to do is make sure that we're really addressing the adrenal gland. One thing that addresses both the adrenal gland and the cells that release histamine, mast cells, is vitamin C and antioxidants. Vitamin C and antioxidants help the mast cells. Those are the cells that usually are releasing a ton of histamines. They help them be less reactive or less responsive. And one of the ways that vitamin C is taken up by the adrenal glands, because adrenal glands are constantly under stress and need to be fed this antioxidant vitamin C. So having a good amount of vitamin C on board during allergy season is really important. And I like not just the supplement, like the lab created vitamin C, but a vitamin C that's also in bioflavonoids in foods. And those make a difference. They work synergistically. So anything that's red, orange, yellow, blue, green, any of those food bioflavonoids make a big difference. We have this product called Drink Your Antioxidants for our supplement company, and Drink Your Antioxidants has a vitamin C plus all the greens, veggies, berries, fruits, antioxidants, and a probiotic. So this is one of our go-to moves for allergy and allergy prevention. Drink Your Antioxidants. You're really upping your antioxidant load so that you're helping to stabilize the mast cells, also treating the adrenal and stress support. Some people will go on to need actual stress support. This is our product. This is called adrenal support. It's confusing to some patients when I give adrenal support, or Dr. Kara and I are supporting our patients' adrenal glands and their stress response in the treatment of allergies, right? It's very different than in the Western world, where we think of just using antihistamines, or, in the more conventional medical world, we're just using antihistamines. Here, we're trying to treat the system that's causing some of the stress response that's contributing to the histamine. So having a good adrenal support on board, if it's medically appropriate for you, can make a big difference in your allergy expression. I'm like opening it, so I take some today. The other really important thing is the gut, right? So the gut response, all the gut in the immune system in the gut has a very, very close tie to seasonal allergies and what we do. So if you're eating foods that you're sensitive to on a daily basis, yesterday we saw a patient who had a very clear dairy sensitivity. It was clear as clear can be on the testing, and her symptoms really aligned. So dairy is something, for people who are sensitive to it, can cause a lot of what we call damp heat. It's like mucus accumulation in the body, in the gut, mucus accumulation in the mucus membranes here, making it just so much easier for you to have allergy symptoms than somebody that's not eating foods that are causing an immune response. Does that make sense? So, food sensitivity testing is a fabulous tool. Is it perfect? Is it 100% right all the time? No, no functional medicine tester is like that. But it's a great spring point, like for our patient where we so clearly saw dairy sensitivity yesterday, and she did not have sensitivities to gluten or corn or eggs. And the rest of her gut looked actually pretty darn good, but it was very clear that dairy wasn't her friend. And so, in any allergy protocol, you want to make sure that you're not driving the inflammation and immune system by eating foods that are trigger foods for you. If you don't know because you haven't tested, now's a great time to do that, right? Like it's not hard. These things are available to us. They're not that expensive. They're at home tests. Like there's no reason really to do the guesswork, especially if you have a lot of symptoms and you're using if you're using an antihistamine regularly and you don't know what your trigger foods are, it's a really great time to do that. I highly recommend. And then naturally, one of the ways that we're always treating the gut is by using a good probiotic. I love our probiotic blend for gut mediated issues. It's got a lot of the proven strains in it that help create that gut barrier to cause and to reduce inflammation in the gut. This has been found. There's a lot of research on probiotics. When moms take regular probiotics and good bacteria, the baby, when she's pregnant, the baby will have a much reduced expression of eczema, allergies, and asthma. Like that's such a big deal. That research is so important. And so if we're doing that through mom and baby, we're also, that's also happening to us as individuals. So really taking care of your gut health can make a huge difference on your allergy expression. And that is actually like in the moment treatment. So if you're having a big, huge reaction and you don't know why, often really reducing your diet down to more limited foods, calming down the amount of complexity that you're eating, doing more broths and more simple fruits and vegetables or cooked fruits and vegetables, simple meats, just so that it's the cleanest diet possible, it will have an impact on your allergy symptoms. Maybe not tomorrow, but in 2 to 3 days, we're just calming the histamines down, taking probiotics, using vitamin C, mast cell stabilizers, treating the stress response, as well as doing all those antihistamine things that we covered on Monday. So it's a pain in the butt when you hang out with naturopathic doctors because we make it, it's never just the one thing. And it's not just the one pill that makes it get better. But the beauty of it is that when you start to treat multiple systems and you start to understand how the body's working and all the different factors at play, one, it helps you understand a little bit more your symptomatology, right? So like if you're extraordinarily irritable with allergies, knowing that histamine's impacting your brain helps. Like, it's not just that you're being an ass, it's that your brain is a little bit on fire from the histamine that's exploding in your body, and your body can't process it or keep up with it. Using an antihistamine can help, but doing this work like the adrenal support, the mast cell stabilizing, the gut reduction of inflammation, again, significantly contributes to helping you feel better acutely in the allergy season and for season to come, so that we just back down your total inflammatory load and make you less allergic in general. See you guys next week on the Glow Up, talking more and more about allergies and allergy remedies. We're going to be deep diving into like what tea to drink and what supplements to take and what exactly to do for your house. So you get a lot of feedback there. Much love.